And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Panzer Corps 2 on Kiev North map. I'm gonna say Kiev North map. It might be Kiev Central. The Kiev map you get to when you're on Barbarossa Central. We've made a massive encirclement. It's time to reap the rewards of that encirclement. Soviets are doing the last-ditch attempts to fight their way out of the pocket, or fight their way into the pocket. And if it does fail, they might not be able to stop what is to come. We got a pocket within the pocket. Yeah, I don't think they're getting in or out at this point. Well, that's only a village that does only provides basic instrument 3, so I do need to shoot up a bit more. Before we get it to surrender. Oh, it should have surrendered on that. Here we go. Okay. I don't want to check in the forest. That sounds like a bad idea. Okay, I think we need to wait for the encirclement to squeeze just a little bit more. We got half the Soviets destroyed. We got a couple trying to break into the pocket. Got 3 here that we know are trying to break into the pocket. There's probably one at Poltava, probably one at Sumy. The rest are probably in the pocket. They're only up to 4, so to get the infantry completely incapable, they're gonna have to wait 4 turns. Well, 4 total, so 3 more. A lot of the specialized equipment's going to become pretty inoperable real soon. And slowly and steadily, we squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. So we know there's 2 outside the pocket, probably 3 outside the pocket, but the rest, as far as we know, are in the shrinking pocket. And we gotta entrench those guys. You're really entrenched, yeah. Found the remainder of the Soviet armor, apparently. Okay, might have that one die out enough next turn to get rid of it. Okay, second line turn again. Oh, and that was one of the ones I didn't need to wait reinforce. Oh well. And we push everything forward. Yeah, pretty much at this point, I think everything doesn't... At least everything over here is not combat functional. Units in this game don't die if you starve them for multiple rounds, but they do basically become unable to do anything. Awkward that. I'm in a slightly awkward spot where I want them detrenched. They're not detrenched at the moment. Okay, I think that's what I can get out of what we got here. $26 to go, 15 turns to do it in. I think that's doable. Okay, slowly and steadily, we're picking up all these guys, mostly as captures. So we have a lot of prestige for future missions. At this point, I just need to get the artillery more in place so we can de-entrench the guys in the city. Because the poor guys in the city have 10 entrenchment, so if we don't just pound them with artillery, they're going to take a real long time to dig out. And we do have to dig them out. I can't just leave them there. I gotta move all the artillery. At this point, I think we're running out of places to send effective units. I think it's just that one that's not in the pocket. Yeah, looks like it's the only one that's panning too. Can I get some of the bombers closer? These are the strategic bombers to get to... Yeah. 13 trench per shot. Okay. Suppose they're on a supply hex, so this is not supply from them, but... Whoops. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to just shoot. I want to select the next one. Okay, we gotta surrender there. The outer fortifications provide, I think, extra max entrenchment. We can only get them to surrender when they run out of max entrenchment, or when they're the mid entrenchment, I suppose. There we go. So we need to go down to like 6. Okay. We got 9 left to go and 13 turns to do it in, so I don't suspect we're gonna fail. Eight to go. And that's the remaining 8. So we've located where every last one is. Now we just need to de-entrench them. In the cities, it's 4. Their defense line's at 6, the inner city it's 4. Okay. Left to go. And that's the last one. There we go. Kiev has been liquidated. And yes, we've got a lot of units at this point. And some of the units, I think, got very good kill-to-death ratios, and some of them didn't really fight. Well, they were there to be in the way. So now we're going to load into the next map and have the briefing for that.
Herr General, we have come so far in the past few months of this campaign, and now we find ourselves on the doorstep of Moscow itself. High Command has greenlit Operation Typhoon, and your forces have been personally selected for the final push to the Soviet capital.
Prime objective, capture all victory hexes, yeah.
Your objective is to breach the final defending lines before Moscow, and prepare to assault the city itself. Major pockets of enemy forces at Vyazma and Bryansk will need to be dealt with first. To ensure a good striking position on Moscow, cities as far north as Kalinin and south as Orel must be occupied. I suggest you move quickly, though. There are ominous clouds on the horizon.
We're at the gates of Moscow, 30th of September, 1941. Got a rapid fire here, which is, out of some of the heroes we've gotten, maybe not the strongest. But yeah, so we don't have to occupy Moscow in the outskirts of Moscow. It's labeled Moscow, but I think this is technically the outskirts here. Put the units aside. So we have Smolensk, which makes sense. We took that 2 missions ago. Rolozalva, I think we just took in the last one. I think that would have been the top right of the map. I might be wrong. Or either this was the top right of the map. Somewhere there. So, basically push east and north. So we're going to take Kursk, Orel, Bryansk, Vyazma, Riez, and then basically the outer defensive lines of Moscow itself. We don't need to take, notably don't need to take Moscow. We got 30 turns to take 10 victory hexes, which is a lot. Spreads us out over the entire map, and there are defense lines. These fortification lines, which will be a little bit hard potentially to push through. We are, whether we want to or not, we've got troops basically gifted to us by the map that we have to take. Of course, we don't get to keep them into the next one, so we don't really care about these troops, other than obviously we can't replace them if we lose them during this mission. So we care enough about them in sort of the logic of if we lose them, then we might have holes in the defense line. Like, for example, we can't deploy around here. So those 3 units are all we got there. We can deploy a little bit here. Deploy a lot here. Surprisingly, don't have very much between sort of the airfield of Smolensk and Smolensk. And we get nothing all the way up at the top. Okay. So the push to Riez is probably going to have to come out of Smolensk. We're probably going to have to go Vyazma north to Riez. And then somehow try to figure out how we're going to attack there. So we're at the gates. Tactically, no easy encirclements on this. Do we get any new unit types? So no new infantry. I think it's next year we get new infantry. We get the Panzer III off J. So that's the upgrade over these guys. It's just basically better armor. Not really a rushed upgrade. Again, I'm playing with the drawback that I have limitations on how many upgrades I can do. I can only do 3 a map. We've got a new self-propelled AT gun, which is basically the self-propelled version of the 5cm. Okay, I could definitely see running that over the 5cm. Whether we'll upgrade the 5cm to it is a bit more up to debate. And that's because it's probably cheaper to maintain once you account for the towing vehicle. New A, or no, that's an old A. Obviously the bigger expensive artillery pieces we don't have the space for. Unless we put stuff back in the bench. No new fighters, no new bombers, no strategic bombers. Okay. See, we do have one new potential tank to pick from. Unlikely, I think, to upgrade into it. Although, we have 3 upgrades. We might upgrade one of them into it and do the pack upgrades or something if we keep the packs. Not sure if we're going to keep the packs. We're going to leave that decision, this decision on what we are taking into this mission for the next stream, I think. But yeah, we're at the gates of Moscow. We get 80 core slots, but we do have the drawback of we got a very wide front, a very disparate front that I have to attack over. We've got 3 main places we can deploy troops at. And each of those places is basically got to go 2 directions. Right? So this is going to go that way and that way. This one is probably actually easiest. It only needs to go towards Bryansk. But probably for the push to Moscow, it's probably going to have to be involved there, going up to those. This one's, again, sort of splitting. I suppose we could just push it. Push, and that makes that one really hard. And then sort of sweep up. Yep. In Twitch chat, it's saying, I look away for a moment. This is Barbarossa South. No. So we did Barbarossa Center. We did Barbarossa Center. So this is the 3rd map in Center. The previous map we were on was Kiev. It was Kiev North. Or I suppose, would you call it Kiev North or Kiev Center? It's the 2nd map in the Center run. But yeah. We're making progress. We're at the gates of Moscow, or, well, we will be at the gates of Moscow during the next stream. So if you're watching on YouTube, if everything goes according to plan, there'll be a part up for you tomorrow. We recorded 6 parts, I believe, during this stream. So I suppose the next stream is probably going to be a shorter than normal stream, one way or the other. So they should have gotten around to recording the next part by the time you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on Twitch, let me go and bring up the Twitch schedule. So today was Panzer Corps 2. We've run Paris all the way up to the gates of Moscow. The stream tomorrow will be Victoria 3. We're going to continue the India run. I think I'm going to do a little bit of experimenting at the beginning of the Victoria 3 run, or Victoria stream, on trying to figure out if we can achieve our current journal entry by passing some of our territory over to our subjects to get the standard of living and the radicals down. Or the standard of living up and the radicals down. We might be able to do that. So that's what we're probably going to be doing at the beginning of the stream for Victoria 3 tomorrow. Tuesday, we're going to be starting up a new Shadow Empire run. Wednesday, I don't necessarily know what's happening, because that's New Year's Eve, and the family hasn't told me whether or not we're having it over at one house or the other house. So the expectation right now is we're probably not having a stream on New Year's Eve. It would be in Terra Invicta if we did. Thursday will be Terra Invicta if we didn't do the New Year's stream. If we end up doing the New Year's stream, then it will be the continuation of Panzer Corps. Otherwise, Panzer Corps will continue on Friday. So that gives us the rough schedule up to the 2nd, as it currently stands. So I hope you've all been enjoying. If you're watching on Twitch, now's probably a good time to get in your comments responded to if you want to see specific things in the game. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to let me know if you've been liking the run, or if you would like to see some of the other maps. There are splitting paths in this game, and it's fairly easy to do other paths if you want to see the other paths as well. With that, I'm going to go ahead and wish everyone the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and our stream. Oh, and I suppose, reminder, I do stream this live to Twitch under the username willcall, and then upload the local recordings to YouTube under the username willcall100. So with that, I'm going to, once again, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.